That happens very often when one guy carries on a champion. They're like, nah, I just don't want to see that.
Vladimir is certainly a big abuser of the current Frost Queen's claim power level. I wonder if we'll see him at all in the next patch, patch 8.2, when the Sight Stone and not the movement speed is there, or maybe it will necessitate picking up Ghost earlier to get further into the draft. Kog'Maw banned, so apparently Deft has been bossing up in the scrims. Someone leaked it because no Kog'Maw allowed for Deft.
Never again. Banned every game is the Kog'Maw. What else will be banned here? They've taken out two nice comfort picks from the side of BBQ with the Shen as well away from Ignar, and then they take away the Kalista, which Ghost has been playing.
Interesting question to ask. Seen a lot of things open today. You know, there's games when no AD carries are banned, then games when 3 AD carries is banned. So, well, we see that Ezreal left open for Deft with the final ban on red side. Ryze will be banned, so now it feels like kind of Ezreal for Galio is the trade that may happen in this particular draft. You can understand giving up, taking the Ezreal first and then maybe taking Azir into Galio. We saw that go so well for the side of Kingzone Dragon X in the first series, and now either it's going to be Ezreal and Galio or Ezreal against Galio, you'd imagine, given the higher priority. It was a first pick Galio for BBQ in Game 2.
Deft seems really happy, you know, he's smiling, he gets to play Ezreal 3 times in a row. It's a good day for him. It's Deft fans. Played a decent game in game number 2. He made like only 1 or 2 mistakes, and it was just the composition that really got to him in the end.
I mean, he said in interviews that his favorite champion to play is Ezreal. Always has been, likely always will be. Very common story for most AD carries just because of the freedom and the mobility you get on Ezreal compared to much more focused play of something like an Ashe. And BBQ will probably still take the Galio, but they're smartly not taking it to the final pick on red side, because if they lock Galio there, they can just first ban Azir and avoid some of those tricky Galio matchups.
We'll see if KT wants to have a shot at it. A lot of other teams have. I'll give Pawn a chance here.
Already played it against Game 1 against SKT. It could be Galio Gangplank here. That'd be a power draft on the blue side. Galio is another get out of jail free card for the Gangplank next to the oranges, the ultimate, the flash. Let's see if Pawn wants to lock it in here. Feels like BBQ almost certainly take it to pair with the Kha'Zix on the red side.
Thinking about an Italy. We'll see if this is true or false. Doesn't seem like the way they want to play it. They're going to pick up the Jarvan once again, score. I think it's the 3rd time in a row in this series. I think he played it in Game 1.
Believe he did. So, a lot of Jarvan priority for score. He's not on Kha'Zix duty anymore because it's taken away, and also he had the 2 losses on it in his first series against Africa. The Galio priority has wavered almost instantly here. Let's see Gnar into Gangplank. That part makes sense. See what mid laners are banned, because it's probably time for another 4 mid lane bans.
You'd have to imagine. Not going to be banning out, well, as I say that, Janna comes down. Certainly a lot of big supports left over. Even Ornn, you got to think about it, but Brahm's still available.
Can manipulate the draft depending on whether the Braum is available or not for the priority of Ornn. Braum so cleanly answers him. Braum and Yasuo, the big answers. Whereas the Janna ranged engaged, a little bit more difficult to pull off. And why not just ban Galio as KT Rolster?
Don't want to play it. Don't want to give that first pick to BBQ either.
Notice that BBQ have not drafted Malzahar yet, even though it is the ultra favorite of Tempt in the mid lane. Did not take it in the first rounds. They've been very measured so far in the draft. They're not grasping for things that have worked before, but rather trying to piece together a power draft like they were able to assemble in Game 2. Tahm Kench banned. Could definitely see Malzahar just taken as the first pick on red side.
If it doesn't get banned here, we'll see what they want to do with this. Mata is pretty ferocious on the Tahm Kench. Not going to allow him to play that one this time around.
Malzahar and Azir, obvious first round mid laners available. Thought process not banning it, might be just wanting to take the Azir into it. Bit of a skill matchup there where early laning phase goes very, very well The Braum we spoke about would be the safe pick to take, would also give counter pick to Tempt. So a lot of coverage for Tempt, who largely has been focused on the Malzahar previously. So after having it banned away twice, they kind of pull the brakes and say maybe we weren't prioritizing it at all. KT's full composition hasn't really been revealed. Looking for mid lane and support. Can go a lot of different ways from what they've drafted already. Gangplank can be in a 4-1, can also be in a team fight comp. Ezreal is an AD carry for all seasons. Alistair would certainly really push things further on the engage. And
yep.
Pawn, third time of asking, loved his choice in game 1, wasn't a fan of the Zoe in game 2. What about a return to Zoe here? Against Braum, not as easy to pull off.
Got some decent squishy members in the back with the Kha'Zix and the Varus, but it just doesn't seem like where they want to go, especially after game 2. Malzahar makes a lot more sense. Here comes the counter pick from Tempt. Does he just go with the Azir, or does he pick something else out of his pocket?
Definitely be a right turn if it wasn't the Azir. Oh, here we go. An old favorite into something like a Malzahar. The Aurelion Soul would be awesome to see. Not a common pick for Tempt or a common pick in the LCK, but playing with our hearts. The dragon is dead. Long live Azir. The Emperor of Shurima will come in, and we get the most standard of mid lanes once again.
A very standard draft overall. A lot of stuff that you see very, very often. Gangplank Gnar up in the top lane. Kha'Zix Jarvan in the jungle, Malzahar Azir, Ezreal Varus, and then of course Alistair Braum.
Well, I think KT lost all their goodwill after game 2 with the coach, so they went back to the tier list drafting. BBQ have some fearsome team fight choices. They also have good pushing in the top side, sort of draft where Trick could certainly have a big game. Varus Braum has so much CC from level 1 onwards, level 6 especially in the bot side. Gnar is going to be pushed up, so some counter jungling onto the Jarvan can happen. I'm going to be watching Trick this game because I feel like he will once again be the barometer of a victory or a loss for the side of BBQ.
Yeah. This also could definitely turn into a very long game that we've seen a lot of the time. You see the Gangplank there on the top side, Malzahar just playing it safe, as well as the Ezreal. They do have opportunity in the mid lane, a roam from Mata and Score coming in. They could definitely set up some ganks towards that mid side.
Mata's Alistair, very, very famous. Fans around the world know it, even on the world stage. Surprise double lift with his aggression a couple of worlds ago. On the other side here for BBQ, very balanced draft. Only the Kha'Zix stands out as more of an early game champion, and we'll see how Trick can pull it off. A lot of games on Zac, but the Kha'Zix now his second favorite.
Yeah, excited to see what he can do. Gonna give it another shot. Here we go, guys. The countdown has begun, and let's get into game number 3 of KT versus BBQ. Okay, dodged the Q, but he still has to flash because they burn out the exhaust.
So rude, they don't even give the fans enough time to chant, but BBQ with the Braum rush in, Smeb has to flash away, and now the Gnar is an even happier place against the Gangplank in the laning phase. Deft fishing for a level 1 item, doesn't get anything.
Tempt decides not to go back home.
At 1 minute 10, so many things can happen if you force it back that it's very difficult to back after about 55 seconds or 50 seconds in the game. BBQ looking to re-invade their blue buff just in case there's any sort of shenanigans happening from KT, but all they will find is a ward, unbeknownst to them, of course.
Yeah, a ward that might spark some early plays, though.
This is some solo queue special right here. They, of course, don't know about the vision. They're going to try and take it. Let's see if Trick actually tries to body block from this side.
Ooh,
watch this one. It's about 130 damage.
Okay, the smite comes in.
I wonder if he just, I think he just spotted Ezreal on the corner, or maybe even the arcane, just the Q in area, the Mystic shot in air, and decided better of it. Smite confirms it. Level 1 blue buff would have been hell to deal with if you were BBQ, but Trick is able to stop that from being a disaster.
You could tell that they were suspicious, right? Pulled all the way into the brush, pulled out of the brush. They were like, okay, just in case. They were right, so good safety there from BBQ. Standing right on a ward. That would have been an unfortunate start for them. No blue buff for your jungler, no level 2. Blue buff on the Ezreal, can spam his Mystic Shot even more.
Yeah, for KT, that was kind of supposed to be the equalizer for Smeb giving up his flash at level 1. Because now Smeb will be under turret 100% of the time. Doesn't want to deal with any sort of return action from Trick and Crazy in the top side. Does also mean that Trick is incentivized to take the top lane scuttle, start to invade the blue side jungle. Score is already power farmed his top side. So hoping for a Gromp or something is Trick on the top side, and he will find nothing.
Yeah, checks both.
He wastes a lot of time there.
Jarvan's looking for the bottom side. Ghost. Oh boy. He was clearing out that ward. I thought for a second maybe something would happen, but he's just going to go for the Gromp on the other side.
There is a ward ping there coming through from Deft and Mata, so they now doubly know that Jarvan is there, and that gives time for Kha'Zix to get in position.
Okay, Ghost will flash out of it, but he's going to get this stun.
Oh!
Ghost, he doesn't have his flash anymore. He's not going to be able to get out of this one. First blood goes over to score. As a nice engage there from Mata to make sure that he could get the flash away from Ghost.
Yeah, the full information was there for KT. They act on it well. The EQ looks comical. It looks like he's pulling it far too aggressively, but it's just to block any sort of escape from either of them. Thought he might interrupt Ignar flashing. Ignar holds onto his flash. Ghost goes down. It all works for KT, and a lot of it was jungle pathing. Clearing his entire topside jungle legitimately surprised Trick. He wasted a lot of time looking at the Gromp, then looking at the walls, seeing none of them there. And then the pathing in general bamboozled BBQ, and now a big lead. So nice play for Score in the early game.
Yeah, already 1,000 gold with that first blood. Trick is gonna slap back here, taking some of the Raptors. All of the Raptors. Gets out of there, gets a nice deep ward as well. Let's take another look at this.
So in vision now is Score. That's why BBQ start to walk back. Flash Pulve doesn't hit onto Ghost, but they just change target. Flash EQ from Score. Just interrupt a flash from Ignar. Ghost was already down. No way for him to turn. No second kill. Nice stuff from the side of KT.
They make it look so easy, but the only thing I could say is maybe BBQ back off a tiny bit earlier. Even then, they probably wouldn't have gotten out.
Mata unleashed on the map already. Doesn't have his boots for roaming, but he does have the boots of speed. So the brown bag's enough to get him to mid lane and see what was going on with the Azir. He has Ignite, so it's not quite the Thunder Cow that was the special in 2018, but Aftershock's kind of like a Resolve Tree version of the old Thunderlord, so you'll take that. Electrocute just too much for Mata as he's still engaging.
It's a nice chunk of damage, but 3 potions here on the side of Ghost. Although he is getting poked out quite nicely so far.
The thing about Mata's Alistar that I think no other Alistar in the world, even including the top tier ones like Gorilla for example, are able to match is that Mata has this unrivaled confidence in his own abilities. He will flash WQ anytime he sees an opportunity. Sometimes he looks silly, but I would say 8 out of 10 times he looks like a genius, and I think you take those odds at the highest level against some of the best players in the world.
They're looking for it. Gonna force the flash away from Pawn, who is only level 5, as Tempt just hit level 6. Take a look at some of his runes here. Takes Scorch. No Gathering Storm this time.
No value on the Gathering Storm, like you say, so going for much more the laning choice. He is also taking the aggressor role in the lane, wants to bully out Malzahar and ensure that he's never full health and never has full control over his flash. When his flash is down, you don't have to respect the flash ult into Jarvan coming to lane. Smeb has got through the awkward part of the laning phase where he did not have his flash up and now has his flash and also the stopwatch to turn things around.
Ooh, threading the needle there. Still, lots of health potions available for our neighborhood Varus. Score, though, getting deep in here, but Trick is coming on in.
Alistar and Malzahar are going to react first. Let's watch the bot lane. So far, only Ignar walking out.
Okay, it's getting pretty low. It's going to be a smite fight. It goes to Trick, though. Score not going to go for his own smite there.
A flash on pawn to look for any picks, so they back away, and blue buff is off the Azir. That's a lot of pressure relieved off pawn, you should remember. He has to lane with his flash down, but at least not against a blue buff Azir. Sorcery on Tempt. This is actually a bigger punish than you might otherwise expect. We've seen a lot more precision Azir, so you can go presence of mind. That means at least situationally on level up, you'll have the ability to use your full rotation, you know, WQ, Q a second time while the presence of mind is still there. But with no presence of mind, with the sorcery, not having a blue buff is a significant slow in the wave clear of Tempt. Enough to roam up, and I guess he may just steal away a blue buff to counteract that.
Yeah, the pathing from Trick was his blue buff to the enemy blue buff before Jarvan could get there. It's almost like they knew and they just decided to give it away.
Well, they do have this situation where Smeb is never going to react first to any sort of engage on the blue. They are weak around the top side, so it's going to accept that Smeb is getting mostly free farm, 11 CS down, which, again, given that he laned for 4 minutes without flash, is pretty damn good. Boots for roaming are complete for the Alistar. Now we have stopwatches, so the turret dives can be even riskier than they were before.
Also a QSS done on Tempt, so not going to be burning double flash to try to kill this Azir, especially with the escapability that he has in his kit.
Big gold lead, but largely from the first blood that Score was able to pick up. Means he has Cinderhawk, so turret diving with an Alistar and a Jarvan, both with stopwatches, is ridiculous at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Can also call on the orbital strike of the Gangplank ultimate. So basically, if you're Ghost, you really, really hope that you can stick some control wards and vision in the bot side, otherwise you're always afraid of being dove.
Yeah. Right as you were saying that, they pinged the one control ward that was in the river. Just got moved, actually, I think a little bit farther down into that brush next to Mata. So we'll see what angle they want to go for. If they do go for the dive in the bottom side.
I think spot Jarvan on the top side. I saw some pings towards him, so that dive for now is not imminent.
Here comes Alistar to the mid lane.
Walking real fast, but he'll walk through a control ward.
He can give some support to Pawn as well. Take away some of that, but here comes Score. No can do, as Tempt is already playing quite passively.
Trying to put questions into the mind of Tempt with his snowball QSS. The kill threat's probably not there. Even with a whole lot of flashes, they're probably not going to be able to pick up a kill. But taking away the control wards and opening up the mid lane for a Malzahar roam is not a bad thing either.
Okay, here we go. There's that control ward. Trick is hanging around too. He might just face check this. You can see he's apprehensive right now.
They don't have wards of camp, so they don't know where he is.
See him here. That's going to be the combo. He's going to want to jump over there. Even flashes away. Meanwhile, Cannon Barrage coming on in. Ignar decides to flash out of there. And nobody wants any part of this fight.
I mean, a lot of people jumped up there because at the same time as we were watching the Kha'Zix face check, the ultimate was shot by Ghost, thinking they were the ones that had the drop for the kill. In the end, it was the side of KT using more resources. A stopwatch is now down on the Alistar, and also the Gangplank ult is down. They walk up with Malzahar. Extra wards here from the side of BBQ.
Score knows he's spotted now. Throws the flag, backs away. As we continue. Mountain Drake this time around, so these teams definitely will set their focus towards that eventually. Looking to potentially make a play towards Tempt in the mid lane as Score was hanging around and Mata was making his way up, but they call it off. Nothing happens.
That's accuracy on the Mystic shot, still A+. Haven't seen him miss one on screen just yet. Nope, that one hit as well. Let's watch him till he misses one. Come on, Observer.
Keep it going.
7 in a row so far.
Don't check the brush. You'll mess up your
minion.
accuracy.
Nicely done.
Pawn getting more frisky in the lane. Not as scared this time around.
The more points in Q you have as Malzahar, the more control you have over the minion wave. I think all of us have felt the pain trying to farm with just E. 4 points E, 1 point Q is not happy times for Malzahar, but the more points in Q, you get a bit more comfortable. He is also trying to hug the side of the lane that his jungler is on, because his jungler is trying to solo down the Mountain Drake, as we know. providing coverage just with his lane spacing, knowing that Azir cannot respond faster than him.
Yeah. It's the small things at the highest level. Glad we have you here to point them out, Papa.
I have my moments, Valdez. I have my moments. Can't catch them all, but do my best. Smeb CS getting to that predictable 25 CS down on the Gnar situation.
Gnar has to shop soon, for sure. Sitting on a phase for now.
Stacking, stacking, stacking. Investing. Anamoon complete on Ezreal at a good clip. Probably around 16 to 18 minutes for the transformation. Trinity Force on next back from the gangplank, but not a lot of turret damage done by Crazy is good news. Once you get that shot for the Black Cleaver, that's when he can really start raining in the pain onto the gangplank.
Score. We've seen a lot of Drake into Rift Herald out of these blue side junglers, but it seems like first he wants to relieve some of the pressure on Smeb. You were talking about going back and buying that Trinity Force. Coming up here might help him a bit.
Mata spotted walking into that brush. Now both brushes are warded.
Ignar going so unbelievably deep. He's got the help of Tempt and Trick though, but it might be a bit too late. He's got stopwatch this time though.
Will he die? He does.
He does. Just that ticking damage, and now Trick is a little bit too far forward. Deft is going to take him out. Up in the top lane, though, Smeb getting low. One more boomerang might have done it there, but he decides to back away with his life.
Look like Crazy lost an auto attack to a minion when he attack moved after flashing. So he didn't flash, but after hopping in. So might have missed out on a kill from that, but we were watching Ignar go very, very deep because they thought they had double ward down. While Ignar was there first, Ghost was not. So him not being in position meant that Def could just come mop up the second kill onto Trick. So felt like it wasn't a full team commit from the side of BBQ, even though Ignar was certainly intending to go straight for it. They back away with KT 3-0 up in kills, more than expected given how this started. So we watched the replay here. There was already a ward near that brush. Now there's two wards in the area. Ignar face checks onto as Pawn actually has some of his ult damage cancelled out, but doesn't matter. There's also going to be the cannon barrage. Something was going to take him down. It was a late ignite onto the Braum. As we watch the replay here, let's see if we see the end of this. A lot of damage goes onto him. Watch here, yes, autos a minion. If he was actually going to get the third proc with his next auto attack, probably would have been a kill onto Gangplank. So a small mechanical misplay by Crazy.
Also, Smeb TPing right in front of Gnar against the wall. Not the smartest idea I've ever seen. We're seeing a dive onto Gnar red side top, a dive we've seen many times. No ward in that brush, so they don't know 100%, but pings are going out.
Where are those Malzahar and Jarvan guys at? Why is the red buff not taken? Because the red buff, as you can see, is in a BBQ ward. And it's pretty easy to problem solve. I guess it's kind of an underappreciated thing about pro players, the problem solving of what do we have vision of? What would a jungler do if he wasn't ganking? Okay, he's probably ganking. Where is he ganking is kind of the questions that very often go through the heads of players at the highest level.
Yeah. You can see Crazy just sitting under turret as they arrive. He's like, yeah, we know what you're doing. And the sad walk back to your lanes. You thought you were going to get a kill, but not the case.
A lot of gank attempts by Score. He's been very active this game. Not all three games have been active. Game 1, largely trading upon the pressure of Smeb. Game 2, not really doing much of anything. In Game 3, very high jungle proximity for the LCK. We often see numbers between 1 minute and 2 minutes, so 2.5 minutes is a lot.
This time Crazy, he's baiting the fight in here. He's a level up, he's got the minions, but look at Smeb, he's going forward. He has the help of Score. Trick is nearby. Flag and Drag is gonna be dodged, but you can't dodge the Cataclysm. Here comes Trick. The stopwatch is going to be used. Score with that red buff. They want to take down Crazy. Not going to use that Nether Grasp just yet. He's going to save it. He's going to get it onto Temp, but he gets a double knockup. Two very low members of KT. Now Trick is going to stopwatch. In comes Ignar. Double kill though. In comes Mana from the top side. Just walking through the lane. Going to help out a little bit. And it looks like will be a 2 for 2 at the end of it all.
There's just so many people top lane in the early game with these extra teleports. Ignar, of all things, has teleport exhaust. Looks like he's trying to run it down with summoning spells like that, but he's wanted to teleport to the top side in order to be involved. Can turn the exhaust into a flash. Players can't be too attached to their bindings in pro play anymore because of all the trades, as Tempt is still here, surprises Score.
Yeah, Score, he flashes, but he's not getting away. Looks like we will have a turret taken, finally, down in the bottom side. Def gonna get all of that gold.
Imagine how nonsense the past 2 minutes of play would have been with the old runes. People randomly switching over to teleport, being topside, being outnumbered this early in the game. So many members having access to teleport very, very early. Lots of insanity happens, but when we kind of look back and see what occurred out of it, it was a kill traded for a Drake and a 2-for-2 is what happened here. So to start off, things start with Smeb and Crazy going very, very strong against each other, but this is very exciting. Remember, Brom at the start of this has flash. He's in the bot lane. He recalls and still going to get to all of this. Smeb first pops his stopwatch. There's more stopwatches to come. Pawn's able to clean up the kill on Crazy without using ultimate, so your first thought is, surely it's KT. But now Brom is going to sell his flash and teleport in to this particular fight. Everyone goes golden to buy time. Pawn's not going to be able to get away from this, even though he picks up a second kill. Alistair's threat's not enough. Ignites Tempt, but it's not going to take him down. Even just a factual retelling of what happened there was utter madness. But the end of it all is an extra kill to BBQ, an extra turret to KT Rolster.
Lots more gold going over to the side of Deft, a guy who wasn't part of all the shenanigans. Up in the top side, just farming his heart out. That's going to be a second Drake, but it looks like BBQ wants to trade it here for the Rift Herald. Deft, okay, he's going to check the brush by himself, sees the Braum, and in fact, they will stop the Rift Herald. 5 members of BBQ up towards the top side of the map now.
Yeah, one contest is going to make it a non-objective, with the timer being at 19 minutes into the game. They also get great positioning onto the mid lane turret.
Yeah, they got that Mountain Drake. Begin to poke away at the turrets a little bit faster. Oh, he missed the Q.
Confirmed.
We need to take away that 100%. We finally saw one.
Shield just procced for Deft around 17.5 minutes for the quest shield that will soon be a thing of the past, but for now is square in the middle of the meta. In all of this, we kind of not mentioned the name Tempt, who is 30 CS up and also 2 kills into the game. Thank you. Look at that, Spo TV.
They're listening.
On my birthday. Thank you so much, Spo TV. But he's looking very powerful. Early QSS now does have his Haunting guys on the way to Leandri's.
Leandri's very, very close for him, you'd have to imagine. Going down south now to farm up a bit. Does see the Alistair, so gets the hell out of there right away.
I really need Ignar to get flashback. I'm uncomfortable looking at his teleport exhaust. It just looks ugly.
It's like, yeah, it's 2 colors that really don't go well together. There we go. Thanks, Ignar. He's also listening. Hopefully not.
His English is good, of course, now, so...
Yeah, he said hello to me. I felt warmness inside. It was cool.
Oh, you had a little moment there.
Yeah.
Well, the accuracy is back for Deft. That's 3 in a row. Oh, caps out at 3.
Yeah.
Map control here for KT Rolster all the way around the Drake. So lots of control bot side, not as much top side, which means that Smeb probably needs to get his running shoes on. Going for a very offensive build, you'll notice. No Sterix Gauge second. Going for the Yoma's Ghostblade, I would imagine, of this build.
Okay, we are going deep. Oh boy, Ghost way out of position, trying to help save the turret, but did not see 2 members coming from the left side.
Ghost getting dunked on Varus is becoming a very common trait. The Galio game last time out against Rocks. Now here, it's getting absolutely annihilated by Mata coming in from the side as Malzahar used both his summoners to get in. So a kill onto the enemy AD carry means they'll get lots of lane control. They'll be able to push up vision. But where did KT want to attack next is the question that only KT can answer. Pawn feeling pretty good about hitting his ultimate skill shot.
He's really good at that, 100% ratio.
He's never missed his ultimate.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
In his entire career on Malzahar.
Professional player.
It's a stat nobody ever mentions. I wonder why.
Well, Smeb has the Yoma's Ghostblade we mentioned. First time we've seen this for a very, very long time because you're always in some degree of terrible matchup as Gangplank. You never Gangplank into Shen anymore because you can even flex the damn Shen to the support role now.
Yeah. And I guess he has enough counters to the point where you can't just ban 3 counters on blue side and first pick it.
Let me tell you, if you try to play first pick Gangplank and solo queue right now, they'll find a counter pick for you. I'm still waiting for the Riven. Someone's going to get frisky and play it in Korea, I promise you. Riven has a happy time against Gangplank.
Yeah. See it a lot on the ladder.
What does it all mean is the question I think a lot of people will be asking. About a 3,500 gold lead for KT. For Smeb, it's 900 gold. The biggest lead of all of these is Deft, though, who is 202 and has Kleptomancy, so casual 3,000-ish gold lead there. I guess 2 and a bit is more realistic for Deft. The comp they have here is very, very good at getting picks. Very reliable at bursting that person down. Good teamfight options, but no tank. So getting an early lead is really big for KT because they can start to put down control wards around the Baron, which they do very quickly. So Baron buff obviously would be a lovely objective, but actually forcing the vision further, actually getting it into the enemy red side is difficult for this team. So for now, at least, just in the mid lane, pushing waves. Also allowing the Gangplank to free farm as a decent backup plan for KT Rolster, but actually cementing a really big next objective is going to be relatively difficult for them.
Looking for Tempt here. Fortunately for him, he's Azir. Although that might not be the end of his woes, as we have another rotation.
Dead Man's Plate onto the Jarvan and also the Boots of Mobility Alistair means the first pick is not guaranteed to be over until you can see both of them.
Yeah. Dead Man's Plate, you don't see that too often in pro play. Every once in a while.
Usually a Warmogs in this spot.
Yeah.
But it's all about picks. It's not actually about having the ability to engage, back away, and Warmogs up your health, but actually about just getting the EQ and having faith that a Malzahar and Ezreal later, that'll actually lead to a kill, and that's really much more the priority of scoring this game. Always good to see people tailor their builds to the situation.
Yeah, that's a bet he's willing to take. They're getting farmed up quite nicely. They are 2 of the best players for their roles as well. KT finally trying to make some moves towards that top lane turret.
And even just score clearing wards, even though BBQ know where he is, it's naturally going to lead to people backing away from the top lane outer turret, getting them more and more Baron control by having minion waves that can be pushed into the inner turret. So KT and following the KSV playbook when it comes to rotating your members and guaranteeing outer turrets in the mid game.
I love how KSV has become the word that you use whenever any team shows above average macro play.
I mean, they have very above average macro play, so even if you're just glancing at it, it's a compliment to you.
Cloud Drake up here. Might just send Smeb to solo that one. Maybe score. Got some pings going on there. No real threat for BBQ to sneak a Baron at this point.
We have a backup win condition as we always talk about it, getting multiple stacks on, even if the Cloud Drake isn't high priority, and maybe Score will solo it down. Full tank Jarvan. He'll take his time.
EQing into the knockback. I've done that before.
Well, Jarvan gonna take his sweet time, and Gangplank will help to actually force there to be the next spawn of the game. There will be no Infernals this game. We now have Cloud, Ocean, and Mountain, and another Mountain at least is a high roll given the options.
It's gonna make going for these Barons a lot faster. See what they want to do. Right after that, Cloud Drake immediately coming over, setting down the wards near the Baron. And okay, Trick getting tricky. Jumping right next to an Alistar can be scary at times, but Mata actually respecting the fact that they didn't have full vision of everyone.
None of the threats were in range to actually do damage, so no point of Alistar to WQ, and just a bit of free damage from Trick if you go over it. Horn's gonna Ghost here. Really wants to kill onto Tempt. A lot of people lying in wait.
You'll notice that a lot of that vision in the red side jungle has been taken away by BBQ. Double control ward in there now. to deny a bunch of that. It's part of the reason why before they weren't okay to start a fight.
It's almost purely kleptomancy. Valdez actually extending the gold lead here for the side of KT. Haven't seen any big objectives go down since that outer top lane turret, but Deft and Smeb just poking the kleptomancy has led to bundles of gold for both of them. Snowball QSS up on his opponent number is Ezreal now.
Yeah. 8.2 Klepto is nerfed, but in the patch notes it says the drop chance is significantly decreased, but I didn't see a number. Do you happen to know the number?
I do not know the number, but I know there's been some trials done on Reddit and places like that to show that in the early game you're very unlikely, but from 15 minutes to 30 minutes it definitely jumps up quite a lot. Because Ezreal kind of gets the double wombo of being ranged, so a bigger penalty on ranged, and also the general nerf to all Kleptomancy situations means that his abuse case is probably the most removed by the Kleptomancy. Yeah. I wonder if we'll just see Unsealed Spellbook Ezreal to get around his inability to push waves.
Oh boy.
Doesn't really have many other runes that suit him that well. Fleet Footwork could be considered, but it's the crit modifier in the late game that makes it a relevant late game rune, and you don't get crit on Ezreal, so I would think Unsealed Spellbook seems the most likely.
They're going for crazy here. Red buff on Deft, and he's not one that's going to miss his Mystic shots. Crazy doesn't really have anywhere to go here. That's going to be a nice 2-on-1 gank from the Ezreal from red buff.
You snicker about it. He's got the red buff. He's got the Blade of the Ruined King. There was no running away from the Ezreal. They take him down very, very quickly. They're going to push up and threaten the inner turret here for BBQ, so they're not going to play around the top side. That's the one spot where perhaps Azir over a wall can do all the damage, but very nice things from Deft there in that situation. Look at the damage putting out here, just a single EQ, half health of Trick.
Imagine if every Ezreal was this good. Might see Ezreal nerfed a little bit.
He's nerfed on patch 8.2 as well,
Yeah.
10 damage. I think 20 damage off his Mystic shot at level 1 is pretty significant nerf.
Yeah.
Means his weak laning phase is weaker. How about an Unsealed Spellbook to make it slightly better?
Yeah. Okay, we have a TP coming in. Now it's the story of the survival of Smeb. And the rest of his team, they're going for the Baron. You see BBQ's not going to have Azir. They're not even going to get Smeb. Even with this frozen mallet, they can't get on top of him. Trick nearby now, looking for the steal, but he's a little bit far. He's going to try to jump, and he gets knocked up by the Alistar. Perfectly done by Mana in position.
Smeb's here.
Denies it. Here comes Smeb. We see him. This time he's going to be running away again, and down he goes. Unfortunate spot for you, buddy.
Smeb tried to be the Kool-Aid man, saying, I'm over here, died instantly, but they were able to pick up the objective, and credit for his escape earlier. That was really good goaltending by Mata, who understood that, well, it's going to be an R-Evolve first. Kha'Zix put down the control ward, dealt with him, so knew he was around the area for the Pulverize. Here's the replay. Pulverized, remember, he wouldn't have had vision. Control wards and invisibility have changed. Smeb showing up was a little bit tone deaf for what was happening here.
Yeah. Definitely could have chosen a safe reward, but what he wanted to do was get behind and start a big team fight. That's not what everybody else was doing.
I'm sure in comms he's saying, I'm the shot caller. I said we were going in, but
yeah.
I don't know if the rest of his team will listen to that particular shot call. But they got the hard objective, and in the end, whenever you send 2 threats bot lane to kill a gangplank, it always is a bit yakety sax. Not picking up the kill accentuates that, and you give up Baron control. So well done by KT on that objective.
So now that they have the Baron buff, they're going to come up towards the top side and begin to take out all of that vision that BBQ had in their red side jungle.
No one really wants to enter the same lane as Ezreal, 5 items, and also the Relic Shield upgrade. So probably a Bloodthirster short of full items.
Ooh, trying to make a move here onto Pog. Forces the Ghost and the Flash away.
Meanwhile,
Deft doesn't care about anyone or anything. That's not a turret. Okay, finally begins to turn, but still getting to work. Kind of barrage comes in, and everybody on BBQ's like, I'm getting the hell out of here. 1 turret goes down, and make that 2. We're gonna have a 3rd in the mid lane. It does eventually come down here.
Ezreal's a one-man poke comp. When you're as good as Deft is on this champion, they're pushing out mid lane, base broken in 2 spots in an instant.
Yeah, not as fast as game 1, but looking very dominant after 30 minutes here by KT. They're making this work. In comes Mata. Says, get the hell away or pay for it.
Well, they pay for it anyway. Even if they didn't buy anything, they lose 2 inhibitors. They back away here, KT Rolster. Ostensibly 1 push away from the end of the game, but we've said that many times and been wrong this week.
Yeah. This is kind of the game we were expecting for game 2, you know? Dominant game 1. In game 2, BBQ hunkers down a little bit, doesn't die as fast, but then eventually KT wins, but still don't know exactly what was going through the mind of KT with their draft in game 2.
We do know what was going exactly through the minds of Deft in game 3. Remember his smile about, what, 38 minutes ago? He was just seeing the future.
Yeah.
He's 6 items now, got a Mortal Reminder for his Relic Shield upgrades. The Targon's the Mortal Reminder. He is super, super strong, and that's why his damage number was insane.
Mata picked up Futures Market. I saw negative gold on him currently.
One of the first we've seen in the LCK, actually. Been a very unpopular rune choice here, even though it has obvious power and someone like Alistar doesn't get to back as often as he wants to.
Yeah.
Very often, if you have a weak laning phase, you're forced to back as Alistar, so extra gold to spend is a nice thing.
It can get you a lot faster, you know, key items, right? Like the mobility boots as well. Just make him a presence earlier out on the map by taking a rune like that.
Just push out control wards, push out Baron minions and just losing turrets left, right, and center.
Yeah, this is getting pretty comical at this point. I mean, they're 12,000 gold ahead now. Chain of Corruption goes wide.
2 Mountain Drakes as well, Valdez.
Yeah. They're looking for the end here. But waiting for that wave. They've run out of Baron at this point. Looking for an opportunity here is Mata and Score. Will go on the first member they see. Deft even Arcane shifting forward. Try to get this down here.
Mata doesn't have flash, but you know he's getting an itchy trigger finger. He definitely wants to engage soon.
Yeah, looking for an opportunity here. Oh, nice silence, hitting a couple of them. Cannon Barrage comes in, double knock-up, followed up by Mata. Getting in there, nobody's gonna die just yet, but they push them back, and oh, okay. Cannon to the face, down goes Ignar. And even the True Shot Barrage do a little bit of extra damage on the back of that. They're making the final push here, going in towards the Nexus turrets. Not the best turtle comp here from BBQ, and they're very far behind.
And it may have the Azir, but not a super-powered Azir just yet. Deft also can sidestep the soldiers so easily. 1 Nexus turret down. KT continues to push. Flash back up on Mata in a second.
Chain of Corruption that time does hit, but does not link. And looks like that's going to do it. Oh, the instant Nether Grasp. don't even show up there, says Pawn. Get the hell out of here. Jumping on in. Going to take out 2 more members. They want to get as many kills as possible before this game ends. Down it goes, and KT will take the victory 2-1.
KT Rolster decided they wanted to play an extra game of League of Legends, and game 3 was very KT Rolster-esque in the end. It reminded me of 2017. The moment that KT get an inch, they take a mile. Good play from them there. Deft certainly the MVP of game 3. Doing a bit of a Faker impression, playing with his own basketball on the Ezreal. Wherever he went, so did other kills. Turrets went down in an instant. KT Rolster will not feel good about the fact that they couldn't add 2 to their game score. Well put by you, Valdez. The game score could be so important much, much later in the season, around week 9.
Yeah.
They will wonder about the game against BBQ. There could have been a 2-0, but the match will be a 2-1. On Pawn's birthday, they are able to pick up a victory, and KT Rolster go 2-0 in a difficult week for them, where they had to play the Telecom War.
I was surprised that BBQ allowed Deft to get Ezreal 3 times in a row. You ban out the Kog'Maw, you think there are other stronger picks that you need to deny, and essentially Deft was like, okay, I'll take that, I'll take it again, and well, I'll take it again for a 3rd time. Even though it didn't look as good in game 2, he was so dominant in game 3 and game 1 that I don't know in the future if you can really continue to give this to this guy. There are certain ADCs you just don't want to give Ezreal to. Deft is one of them.
And
I wouldn't do it again.
And short of a Galio, I think the Zoe Ezreal could be a winning combination. for KT Rolster, so the comp that they ran in Game 2 could definitely be one they revisit in a different situation without Vladimir and Galio to really ruin their day. So some of the draft ideas by KT are promising for how the team functions and how another game might go. See, it's a bit rough here for the side of BBQ. No mental torment, no 60-plus minute games, but they would have felt they were in with a real shot. But KT turned on the style in game number 3 and send us home pre-midnight.
Yeah, pre-11 p.m. as well. We're going to take a look at the game facts. It really was the Deft story in game number 3. No big surprise there. And yeah, Pawn got an extra birthday game. Papa got an extra birthday game. But at least we're not going home at 12:30, Papa. We'll have some time.
Spo TV seems to be reliable on that one, which I appreciate. 15,000 gold lead. I would say a lot of that was actually in Ezreal's pocket, up to about 6,000 to 7,000, given that it was 3,000 earlier in the game. So great job there, Deft. We'll give him the MVP very shortly. Kind of as one-sided by KT in Game 3 as it was by BBQ in Game 2. Only a single turret to BBQ and a motley crew of Drakes and Barons to the way of KT Rolster.
BBQ, I feel like, you know, Game 2 was good for them. They picked a good composition. Game 3, though, giving away the Ezreal and just kind of being rolled over by that. Definitely something to go back to the drawing board and revisit in the future. Temp's Azir was looking good. I think that's something you can say that went well for BBQ in Game 3.
BBQ are no hopers. I think they will have a very real shot, or an outside shot maybe now after a couple of losses, and making it to the playoff spots. But we will see them again this week, only their 3rd match. All of them going to 3 games is not necessarily bad reading for a team that would have come together very late, with the players returning from the EU LCS and trying to forge a new lineup here at BBQ. Waiting to confirm that Deft was voted for the MVP. It would be insane to see anyone else. Although it's sad that we will not be speaking to Pawn on his birthday.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do an extra interview with him later on sometime.
Super bonus
Not on
content.
the stream, but, you know.
Maybe on the KT Rolster Twitter, they'll give us a word from him. Congratulations to Deft, you are the MVP. 620 total LCK kills, a much lower number than if he had stuck around the LCK. 2 years away will remove him from the 1,000 club, but getting closer and closer. Give him another year or so, and we'll get near to that. And 300 MVP points so far in 2018.
Yeah, he's up there with Teddy, another ADC that's getting higher in MVP points. No surprise that a bunch of these AD carries are snagging the MVPs for themselves.
Yeah, if we had a Ardent Sensor meta like Worlds for the entire spring season, it'd all be 80 carries, because that is just how the role is going, and we're all about hyper carries now, so similar story.
Yeah, so guys, we are going to head over to Caster Sung, Mata, and Deft, your bottom lane from KT, as well as a translation from G-Sun, so I'll let you guys enjoy it.
자, 오늘 경기 최고의 선수 2명의 선수와 이야기를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 마타 선수와 뎁트 선수와 함께합니다. 축하드립니다.
Congratulations.
네. 오늘 경기 정말 인상 깊은 장면들이 많았습니다.
Well, it was an impressive match, and you had a great performance with Orange.
얼마만큼 만족스러운지
What are your comments about that?
딱히 크게 만족하진 않는데
I'm not really that satisfied, but I'm just happy that we got the win.
사실 그 2세트는 좀 아쉬운 장면도 좀 있었던 것 같아요. 2세트 선택에 대해서
Then tell us about the game 2.
있었는데라는 얘기가 있었거든요. 2세트는 어떤
Was there some points that you were kind of disappointed about your plays?
사거리가 길기 때문에 그런 쪽으로 하면서 후반에 너무
We were
하다 보니까
thinking of the late games too much, so I think we lacked some kind of initiations and stuff.
CS만 먹자.
We just concentrated on farming, scaling, so
분명히 이제 싸움도 잘할 수 있는데
I think we could make some better team fights, but we were just too over-focused on the late games, so I think that was the reason we lost.
3세트에서 다른 장면 좀 보여줬으니까 멋진 경기가 나왔던 것 같은데. 뎁트 선수. 네. 지난번 경기는 끝나고 나서 약간은 뭐랄까 북받쳐오는 그
So moving on to Dev,
많은 열심히
I saw you crying
끝나고 나서 이제 쪽지도
in the last game. Didn't any other like fangirls message you
시간들이 좀 나왔을 것 같은데.
after last game? No, nothing really special, just as usual. But some of the fans told me that they also cried with me together.
그런 얘기 없었나요?
네, 뭐 비슷했던 것 같아요.
그렇죠. 아, 보통 나올 만한 그런 글이었던 것 같으니까. 오늘 특히 이즈리얼
Then speaking of Ezreal,
자체가 굉장히 좀 인상 깊었습니다. 단독으로 움직이는 물론 뒤쪽에
I think you have played a lot of role as AD carry,
굉장히 팀원을 믿는 듯한 그런 움직임.
where all the players have faith in you and you have faith in your teammates.
일단 3세트 같은 경우에는
So in the game 3,
1, 2세트는 라인전에서 그렇게 잘 풀리지 않아서
I think I didn't do well in the laning phase in the first and second game, but in the third one, I think I did pretty well. So I was a little bit more aggressive.
잘 풀렸던 것 같은데 오늘 되게 좋은 날이죠.
And it's a great day for you guys, right?
축하할 분들이 굉장히 많습니다. 어제 좋은
Today is Pawn's birthday, and yesterday was, the day before was your coach's birthday.
어제가 어제가 정재승 코치님
No, yesterday was our coach's birthday, and today is Pawn's birthday.
나한테 반말로 물어보면 내가 뭐라고 대답해 줄 수가 없어요. 농담이고. 아니, 어제부터 좀 긴 경기들이 좀 있었으니. 그렇죠. 오늘이 포인 선수생일.
So today is Pawn's birthday, right?
또 축하할 분들 많은 게 파파스
And also, our global caster Papa Smithy has his birthday too, and my nephew has his birthday also.
결혼이래. 생일 축하할 분들이 굉장히 많은데
So there are a lot of events to celebrate. So any message for them?
일단은 뭐
First of all,
생일이 크게 중요한 날이라고
I don't really think birthdays are really important events for people, but
오늘을
okay, so
새롭게 한다는 마음으로
from today,
각오를 다지면서 이제 살았으면 좋겠습니다.
I hope Pawn becomes a better person
세상을 맞이할 준비를 할 것 같아요.
from this birthday.
팀명의 변화에 대해서도
And also, you guys changed a little bit in your team name, KT into in capital letters.
근데 이게 좀 더 강한 느낌을 위해서 대문자
Does this mean more power?
게 있나요? 뭐가 있어요? 근데 일단 분위기가 좀 달라진 느낌이 있어요?
아이디 때문인지는 모르겠지만
I don't really think it's the way we spell our team name, but maybe yes, a little bit more stronger.
저는 별 차이는 모르겠어요.
I don't see any big difference for me.
아이디를 딱히 신경 쓰진 않아서
I don't really care a lot about my IDs or team names, so
아이디는 뭐 킹존이라든가
I think it has to be like King Zone or KSB to seem more stronger. So KT doesn't really has a stronger naming feeling, so I don't really think we've changed a lot.
사실 그 많은 팬들의 얘기 중에서 마타 선수가 실제
A lot of fans have said that
보면은 분명히 언변도 화려하고
Mada, you are a really good talker, and also you're really a caring person.
그리고 뭔가 이런 우려 섞인 그 팬들의 얘기가 있어요. 본연의 색이 나오면 또
Then,
좋다는 얘기들이 있는데 여기에 대해서
what do you see you guys as a person? Like, what kind of person you are?
약하다기보다
네.
다른 사람들이 너무 개성이 강하기 때문에
I think other teammates in our team has so much stronger personality, so maybe that's how people see me. But
과하게 말하면 좀 미친 수준으로
yeah, I have to say, like, our teammates are kind of like crazy, so that's why I think people see me as a caring person.
개성이 있다면 팀 내에서
Then do you want to be a little bit more crazy than right now you are?
팀 내에서는 없고요.
없어요.
Well, actually not like our teammates, but
이지은
I would like to be a person like our former head coach,
선생님.
Ji-hoon Lee.
이지은 단장
네네네네.
I like his jokes, and he's really a talkative person, and he's really nice. So I want to be like him.
사적으로 마이크가 나갔으니까 저랑 같이 있어요. 사적으로 제가 만났었을 때 그렇게 웃긴 친구는 아니었는데 그 개그가
As a person who is a friend of Ji-hoon Lee, I don't think he's really a good person, but
이지훈 단장님께 그럼 한 말씀
well, if you think so, any message for him?
KT는 당신을 기다리고 있습니다.
KT is waiting for you. Come back anytime you want.
뭐 이건 뭔 내용인지 모르겠는데 이거는 마타 선수의 개인 의견.
Well, this is Amada's personal expression.
그분을 그 선생님
Do you still miss him also, your former head coach? Yeah, I also miss him.
모르겠네 그런 생각이 들었습니다. 사실 그 마타 선수라면 정말 수많은 원딜러들과 경기를 펼치면서
And Mara, you have a lot of
선수는 먼저
experience with other AD carries.
어떤 느낌으로 경기를 펼치세요 보통 경기를 펼칠 때?
Then what kind of thoughts in mind do you have when you are playing with Mara? What does Mara mean to you?
선생님?
I think he's my teacher.
뭔가 1년이 지났는데도 항상 가르쳐 줄게
He always has things to teach me, so I'm always learning from him.
게임 무조건 게임.
In personal life, well, no, but in game, yeah, I learn a lot from him.
농담이고. 네.
Well, My personal life isn't that good. Maybe I should learn from Sungke.
마타 선수는 그 수많은 원딜러들을 좀 만나봤잖아요.
Then what about you? You had a lot of experience with a lot of AD carries.
어떤 느낌이 좀
Then what does Deft mean to you, or what kind of AD carry is Deft? Well, I've seen him more than 6 years. At first, he was a really good player. He dodges every skills. He was really smart, but I think he's changed a little bit into an aggressive player in game, and also personally, he's a little bit more aggressive than before.
여기까지 하도록 하겠습니다.
알파카다 보니까 약간 좀 공격.
Well, you know, he looks like alpaca. I think he learned aggressiveness from it.
없으니까 다른 인터뷰를 통해서 확인해 보시길 바라겠습니다. 아, 일단 스코어 선수에서 주장가가 바뀌었잖아요.
And you guys have a new team leader from Score to SMAP.
주장에 대한 믿음을 굉장히 많이 좀 표현을 했었고 그게 또 화제가 되고 좀
And you guys have a lot of faith in him, right?
부스 안에서 좀 분위기가 좀 달라지긴
Is there any specific change around you guys?
주장이 나는 좀 무게가 있다 보니까 조금은
I think SMAP
원래는 항상
takes more responsibility on it. He used to be really a funny type of guy, but nowadays he's a little bit more like serious. And I think he has gone through some kind of change. Yeah, I also think that SMAP became some normal person.
아, 많은 분들께서 궁금해하시는 게 지금 현재 메타에 대해서도 질문들이 많이 들어오고
And a lot of people are having questions about current meta.
너도나듯이게
Everyone is, you know, getting the stopwatch.
있는데 KT는 그 현재 메타에 대해서
What are your comments about the stopwatch meta?
요즘에는 이제 초반에는 초식의 메타.
I think the early game is the stopwatch meta, and in the end we have to just stay till we scale enough. So
몇몇 픽들이 등장을 하면 많이
I think the stopwatch let us use some kind of various picks. For example, Gangplank.
잘 버티는 것 같아요.
Yeah, Gangplank is really weak in the early laning phase, but thanks to the stopwatch, I think that kind of let him come in the competitive game,
저 같은 경우에는
competitive games.
초반이
For me,
초반에 원래 원딜이랑 포지션이 약간 그런
AD carry is a position that is
뭔가 후반까지 안정적으로 갈 수 있어서
really looking for the late game, so I think it helps me to scale till the late game, so I kind of prefer having a stopwatch.
정말 많은 팬 여러분들께서 함께해 주셨고 KT가 지난번 SKT를 잡고 더 확실한 걸 보여줄 만한 준비를 마쳤다는 것이 오늘
In
경기를
the
통해서
end,
어떻게 보면 선수들이
I think
증명한
you guys
부분이거든요.
recently proved yourself as a really competitive team.
KT를 응원하시는 수많은 팬 여러분들께
So last message for your fans, please.
저희 팀 목표가 SKT를
Our goal was to beat SK Telecom down,
계속 이겨서
but we have more goals, you know. We're gonna make sure to win this whole split. Thank you for cheering for us.
저도 똑같이
I also wanna say,
데포트 선수랑
just as he said,
해가지고
we're gonna practice harder
내는 게
until we reach our goals.
열심히 할 수 있도록 많은
So keep rooting for us. Thank you.
상황에서 좋은 멘트 다시 한번 같이
So this will be the end of the interview. Thank you for listening.
2대1로 잡아내면서 또 하나의 승리를 만들어냈습니다. 오늘 멋진 경기를 펼친 이 두 명의 선수에게 여러분 다시 한번 큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
Thank you guys for all that translation, Jisun, Caster, Mata, Deft.
It was fun to hear the bot lane, a bit of banter between
Yeah.
the two of them, and inkling into the fact that Smeb is getting serious, which, I don't know, that makes me a little bit sad. He's a very fun-loving guy if you ever get the chance to meet him. KT also a fun-loving team. Sometimes they just go crazy like in Game 2 and try a bit of everything. Doesn't work, but they come back in Game 3. The class shines. They had a good plan this time after being a bit lost in Game 2. Deft with the cleanup in this particular instance. Ended up being a pretty straightforward win for KT Rolster.
Yeah, a couple of fun fights here and there, like this one, where it traded 2 for 2, but Def was, meanwhile, just farming bot, getting bot first turret. This was all just happening in the side lanes.
And look, surprise Braum.
Exhaust TP Braum,
Yeah.
the new meta.
Bring it to solo queue, guys. They'll love it.
Mata from the left, Score and Pawn and Deft, all just running it down mid, getting the kill.
You're seeing some world's best in this game. Deft on Ezreal up there. Mata on Alistair, probably 100%. So seeing some of these trademark picks from KT is really a complete treat to see, even though Smeb Had a very nice escape and then promptly just suicided in the enemy jungle. Well, they won't show that one, will they? They might.
They might. Maybe at the end of this.
I love this from Mata, by the way. Control ward, Pove onto the invisible Kha'Zix. Goodbye, Kha'Zix. Goodbye, Smeb, also.
Oh, they didn't show it. Well, he got caught there, guys. Anyway, in the end, KT Rolster does take the 2-1 victory. And it says, there's still 1 hour left in your birthday, Pawn. They should have put Papa's name up there as well.
It's okay. It's not about me. It's about Pawn, who comes away with the victory in the telecom war today. And he gets to celebrate his birthday on his birthday, which was definitely no guarantee, given how the games have been running recently.
Very true. So, KT Rolster going to take a look at their records, the standings, no doubt, right after this. I've been doing this for a while, guys. They are up at the top, near the top, I should say. Number 2, 3-1. KSV have yet to play their game. I think that should be tomorrow, right? I'm not 100% sure.
KSV will be playing tomorrow or the day after. Not 100% clear. We'll have the schedule up soon. You wonder how things are going to lie, because the KT, KSV, King Zone, we kind of saw that coming, Valdez. That part we knew about, but SK Telecom will move up. Where will Jin Air move? Currently in 4th place. Afrika Freaks also.
Where will Teddy and the guys move?
I mean, I like watching Jin Air a lot. King T, Teddy, Fountain Laser. I'm ready to watch some more Jin Air, especially if they can play like they did earlier this week, where they went for the early game victories. I've seen a little bit of King Zone, KT, and Jin Air have all had early games that are of some repute. Find out what our matches are for tomorrow. And then we have another Spo TV day on Sunday as well. Valdez and I are going to enjoy the 6 days of LCK. We're more than halfway through now, but I'm reinvigorated. You know, we had a couple of moments there where I was like, oh boy, we're going long. But a day like today makes me hyped about League of Legends again. And tomorrow, KSV will have that match you spoke about, but Kongnu Monster not going to be looking forward to that one, you'd think.
Oh,
and then
boy.
a very interesting one, because Afrika Freaks, started strong against KT, had some difficult matches, difficult results. They're on the low. Rox Tigers are on the highest ebb they've certainly been, 2-1 so far in the season. If Afrika loses that one, maybe some of our optimism was a bit unfounded, because this is one they expect to win.
Yeah, Jin Air also playing on Sunday. I think that's against BBQ. We'll see how they do in that one. I think they're favored for that one for sure, even after the performance today from BBQ. And yeah, it was a fun day. We actually have an hour left to do something on your real birthday. It's going to be fun.
I'm excited about it. I got, 6 games of League of Legends on my birthday, including the one around the time of midnight earlier today. So thank you for all the support, guys. Fun games today. Happy to see some real aggression in the early game. Usually when everyone's scaling, there has to be aggressive options. We haven't got them confirmed, but we've seen some cool ones today.
Yeah, was a fun day of games. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but that's going to do it for us here at Spo TV. Definitely watch OGN tomorrow and then Spo TV once again on Sunday. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.